Tonight on KGW News, rescue at sea. As the Coast Guard hoists an injured passenger from a cruise ship off the Oregon coast. Then,
really hard not having any answers, not understanding what happened to her.
friends hope for answers 1 month after a Vancouver woman's mysterious disappearance. Plus,
these are very high-stakes decisions.
how police stopped a double murder suspect speeding down I-5 without hurting the kidnapped toddler in his car. Then later,
Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon.
as more Oregon athletes get their dream call to join the big leagues. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin tonight in Southeast Portland at what's believed to be the last known location of a Vancouver woman who's now been missing for a month. Alma McCarty has the latest on the search for Christina Ace.
Heartache replaces happiness on Christina Ace's 62nd birthday.
I'm sure if she was here today, we would have been celebrating with her at work.
Instead, close friends and colleagues like Jennifer Williams gathered at Glenwood Park in Portland, miles away from Christina's home in Vancouver and from her job as a nursing director at a care center in West Lynn.
Driving here was kind of gave me a chill, just being in this area, knowing that this was the last place her phone was signaled.
That was 1 month ago. Detectives with Vancouver police traced the cell phone data to Southeast Portland, where they believe Christina spent multiple hours on March 26th, moving between the park and one or more homes. Investigators found her car mysteriously parked near her home the very next day, with what appeared to be a powdery white residue, like a cleaning agent, coating several surfaces on the interior.
It's hard to explain. It's really hard not having any answers, not understanding what happened to her.
It's like she was just ripped from us, from her life, from everything.
1 month after her sudden disappearance,
It's important that we do what we can for her.
the group lights candles not only on the cake, but in the hands of those who hold Christina dear.
We want Christina to know that we love her, we miss her, and wherever she is, we are going to continue fighting to bring her home. We will never give up.
They're holding on to hope.
Happy birthday to you.
And wishing for Christina's return.
We really need to find answers and figure out where she is.
As stated on these new flyers, now listing Christina's age as 62 years old, there is a $2,500 Crime Stoppers reward. Vancouver police tell us that this is still considered an active missing person investigation. In Southeast Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, protesters against the war in Gaza gathered on Portland State University's campus again tonight. Police showed up at one point, forcing some to remove structures and banners they had put up inside the park, which closes at 9. In response to continued protests and messages from students and staff, the university has paused gifts or grants from Boeing. That's according to a letter from PSU President Ann Cudd. Protesters say they are concerned the company is helping advance Israel's military efforts inside Gaza. The university says it is planning to host a moderated forum with students and faculty next month. Police are searching for the robbers they say held up 2 people at gunpoint in a North Portland park. Police say the victims were approached Wednesday night around 10 at Pier Park by more than one suspect. Then one of those suspects fired a shot. Authorities say the robbers stole personal property, including phones, and the victims had to go to a store to call for help. No one was hurt, and so far, no word on any arrests. And a 65-year-old passenger had to be hoisted off a cruise ship by a Coast Guard chopper after he fell and hurt himself. This was on a Holland America vessel about 175 miles west of Tillamook. A paramedic and a nurse from the Life Flight Network also helped out with this airlift. The passenger was taken to OHSU in Portland and is now recovering. We're learning new details this evening about the manhunt for a double murder suspect that ended with a shootout Tuesday on I-5 near Eugene. You may remember an Amber Alert went out late Monday after Elias Huizar allegedly kidnapped his 1-year-old son. Blair Best shows us how police say they approached a situation that was both delicate and dangerous.
Oh, they have the baby!
Dramatic video shows the moment Oregon State troopers rescued a 1-year-old boy after a manhunt for his father, Elias Huizar, ended along I-5 near Eugene. Huizar ultimately killed himself after a shootout with police. This all started Monday afternoon in the Tri-Cities area in Washington when police say Huizar shot and killed his ex-wife outside an elementary school and also killed a 17-year-old at his house. The teenager was also the mother of their 1-year-old son, Roman. Roman was with Huizar when the manhunt began, prompting a statewide Amber Alert.
That all comes into play as we're contacting the suspect.
This is Captain Kyle Kennedy with the Oregon State Police. He says protecting the child was a top concern that day.
That we made the decisions that would give us the highest probability of not injuring Roman and bringing Roman home safely.
After numerous tips, Oregon State Police first spotted Huizar driving south on I-5.
They pull out behind him and a pursuit begins.
At one point, Huizar started shooting at state police. 2 out of the 3 troopers fired back, including the superintendent.
To have the superintendent is rare to be involved in an incident like this. These are very high stakes decisions. Can we tactically make a precision shot when we need to? And that is a question that every officer in the moment must make a decision to answer, and they don't have the luxury of time to make it.
The troopers and the child were not injured in the shootout. Police don't believe Huizar was either.
You have a strong likelihood that Roman could be in between you and the suspect when you're firing versus off to the side. Either way, you know, the decisions they're making are coming at a split second, and it's a game of inches.
The chase ended once Huizar crashed his car and shot himself. Troopers then rescued Roman, who made it out unharmed.
This was the last positive thing that could come out of this, was Roman returning home.
The 3 troopers, including the superintendent who were involved in the shootout, are on administrative leave, which is normal protocol while the investigation continues. KGW has requested body and dash camera footage of the pursuit, and state police say they won't be releasing it at this time due to the ongoing investigation. Blair Best, KGW News.
New tonight, another shakeup inside Governor Tina Kotek's office, with the governor's communications director reportedly announcing she plans to step down. Willamette Week reporting that Ann Doe submitted her resignation Wednesday. She's been with the governor since she took office. It is unclear why Doe is leaving. We have reached out to the governor's office for comment. This comes after 3 of Kotek's top 4 executive team members, including her chief of staff, left that office in March. Meanwhile, the governor's office today also released about 6,000 pages of emails and other documents. This was in response to public records requests from KGW and other media outlets in the wake of those resignations. While we are still going through the documents, they include notes from staff that indicate they did not agree with the way the governor was trying to set up a role in her office for Oregon's First Lady and had a number of concerns and questions. Emails also include plans from the governor for Amy Kotek Wilson to attend policy meetings. Tonight, the governor reportedly told the Oregonian she would not comment on concerns raised by top staffers who have since left. Kotek, you may remember, also sought guidance from the Oregon Government Ethics Commission on the First Lady's unpaid role, though only after internal concerns were widely reported. We are less than a month away from the Oregon primary, with voter pamphlets in the mail and ballots set to go out next week. While Election Day is May 21st, the deadline to register and choose a political party is by the end of Tuesday. In order to vote in any of the partisan races, so president, congressional races, state offices, you name it, you need to be registered as either a Republican or a Democrat, et cetera, by midnight at the end of April 30th. That is because Oregon remains a closed primary state.
If people want to vote in the presidential primary, if they want to vote on the offices that are partisan, like president, they would have to switch to either the Democratic or Republican Party to do that.
All right, so it's fairly easy to change your party affiliation. You can do it in person, for example, the elections office on Southeast Morrison in Portland, or you can make changes online at OregonVotes.gov. Ballots will go in the mail next Wednesday. Hey, a quick reminder, next Thursday, KGW and the Oregonian will host a live debate between the two candidates for Multnomah County District Attorney, and we're giving you a chance to ask questions directly to the candidates, Mike Schmidt and Nathan Vasquez. You can record a short video on your phone and then email it to debate@kgw.com. Then watch the debate live Thursday evening at 6:30 right here on KGW. Straight ahead at 11 on this Friday night, some Portland students displaced by the ice storm now face new delays. How a hiccup in communication could be partly to blame. Plus, see you later, Pearl District, as a neighborhood business decides to close a key location.
I'm Matt Safino. We had lots of showers today. The clouds hanging low over the coast. The bridge disappears there for a while. And you know what? Up in the mountain, it's still snowing. There's been 4 inches of new snow there, but there is some dry time this weekend, even more coming our way next week.